There we go. Alrighty, so game start here is going to be. There we go. Galatasaray versus BYG. I'd like to take a moment to apologize for mispronouncing this Turkish name for the duration of this game, for the duration of play-ins till I get it right. I feel like I'm gonna have to go on to Google to get that sorted. Joining me for this match, we're gonna have Wuuren as our analyst. How we doing, Wuuren?
I'm doing great.
Now, did we have any expectations for this game going in? Did you actually have any background research for Beyond Gaming or Galatasaray
Yeah.
early?
I had background. I knew that the standout was Doggo from
Mm.
Beyond Gaming. They actually sent PSG in their summer final to the lower bracket. That's how they got to the finals. But PSG beat them in a reverse sweep. So I think this team is really capable of really mixing up this group.
Yeah, which would be a really exciting moment for the international scene on account of if there's two teams coming out of the PCS who can do the kind of damage that PSG Talent did back at MSI, then this could be a good time here in play-in. So opening out here, Galatasaray. First two bans are Aurelian and Draven, opposing on Beyond a ban for Lee Sin and Lucian. I think so far in the tournament, actually, Lee Sin's been undefeated, but Lucian has unfortunately fallen a few times here. So
Yeah.
pretty standard bans, I would say, so far.
It seems like a lot of teams are not don't want to cater Aurelia to.
Yeah, or they're more scared of the enemy team picking it. Aphelios coming in to prevent Doggo. Apparently, Galatasaray was also watching MSI and got to see Doggo go off a bit. More on Tristana, though, but yeah, Doggo's a very capable ADC. Would not be surprised to see him get picked up into an LPL team in the next year. And okay, so this is the first time I've seen a misfortune picked on blue side, and especially even first picked. I feel like a lot of these teams are really trying to funnel themselves into these wombo combo team comps.
Yeah. Again, the misfortune just caught me off guard. I was seeing it recently the last like 4 days, but it really caught me off guard. I was not expecting this to be the playing ADC pick.
Yeah, normally we've seen it over on red side getting picked with like a support. We've seen that a few times so far in this tournament where it's like let's just secure like a Leona misfortune combo or an Amumu misfortune combo to really like try to nail down or get some lockdown to guarantee that bullet time to break through. But we're there's got to be some weird priority there just trying to first pick it. They're on blue side.
Um, I don't know if it's just ease of execution. I don't know if something showed up in scrims with MF, but I was expecting Lucian to be picked, but I guess because I need to recheck the patch if she got buffed. That's my only assumption. Um, but again, I didn't see this coming. This was a 180.
So the full prio on misfortune this tournament so far has been a surprise to you?
Yeah, like I said, I've been watching. If anyone does watch this video and pays attention to this part, tracking the pros is great to watch the pros. You see all things that you might not expect, and I've been watching the solo queues of from Nuggery to Doggo to even Bololulus. Like you get to see all sorts of players, and I saw some Draven. I even saw Draven mid, like I told you. But Misfortune was just starting to pop off, and Yumi was actually a high prio too.
Yeah, which we've only seen like a Yubi ban so far. Yubi hasn't been picked yet. I think it's just that once you get into, I think the teams have just theory crafted themselves into believing the power of a misfortune just throwing a bullet time across a bunch of melees, just fighting amongst each other. That just feels like it must be what it is. I can say the only time I've actually seen that Misfortune feel like it really went off or really did a lot of damage, at least so far in this tournament, was earlier in the Detonation Focus Me versus Unicorn's Love. Like there was a few times there where that MF was able to just throw down a bullet time and just blow up a target. Otherwise, it's been kind of hit or miss for these
Yeah,
players
very hit
on
or
the pick.
miss. Um,
Ezreal picked up for Doggo, so keeping himself safe, keeping himself isolated.
I expect to see more and more Ezreal if the comps lately have been, we're gonna dive you and you better have a way to get away or you have a GA or a stopwatch and um, Ezreal has his E, which is basically a flash on a 10 12-second cooldown. So I think you're gonna see more Ezreal. You might even see Zaya too because of her ult
Yeah.
and Tristana, but
Well,
I would say later.
we're also seeing just in the build path, at least with like the Divine Sunderer, and then eventually it gets to a Frozen Heart. There's a certain point where this Ezreal actually becomes quite tanky and harder to kill than you would normally expect out of an AD carry just because of that build path. And a lot of these bruisers are AD damage. Kiana, Talon, Zed, they're gonna have a lot of time. All these newer picks are still gonna have a hard time taking care of getting to an Ezreal, and let alone getting their damage through that Frozen Heart. And on the other side, we have Galatasaray throwing in a Rise and a Kiana pick, speaking of which, and to counter to end out at least the first part of the pick phase, a Orianna, which has actually started showing up here at the end of the day here in play-ins. So,
Uh,
a lot of
maybe
combos
just
here.
trying to have that guaranteed safe blind, a nice blind pick. Well, not blind because Rise is already there, but a safe pick. Scales up, good team fighter. Not so good in the side lane. Has to be careful, but overall, always a good pick.
Definitely, and she does have the Xin Zhao as a delivery system available. Strangely, though, they ban out the Leona. I believe they're just trying to block that Leona Misfortune combo we mentioned earlier. But the counter ban is going to be the Karma, so really getting rid of that poke lane that we did see earlier in the day actually at least dominate through like the early and sort of mid game, mostly in the laning phase. But they're just sort of questionable for the Karma as the game gets later on and later on with a lot of these gap closing bruisers available. It can get kind of scary for anyone piloting a support Karma in this meta.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't know. I'm so far it seems like BYG is looking like for a 5v5, and we might see some split pushing out of Bolulu on the Rise. So well, like, I feel like a lot of teams are trying to do like a 1-4 or 1-3-1 comp. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know how you feel about that.
It's looked really good actually so far, in my opinion. At least because a lot of these play-in teams are trying to actually win through just team fight wombo combos, and when at least what we've seen, I believe, from HLE earlier was just the 1-3-1 comp allows them to just avoid having those big 5v5 team fights, and teams are not that good about just using the NA RAM strategy to their advantage. Just group as 5, go towards an objective, and just force it down. So I like 1-3-1, and I think it's the best way to play some of these very pick oriented champions like Zed, and Kiana may very well fit into that. Because the Bard pick's a little weird here, but the MF with the Bard and the Kiana roaming between Rise and okay. So all right, so that's gonna be team fighting on this side. So you can't even like try to run a 1-3-1. You can run a 1-3-1, but ideally Galatasaray's comp here wants to team fight. And both sides, I think, want a team fight. The Braum really speaks to that because there's not a lot of split pushing. So yeah, good topic piece, but not pertinent to this game. It looks like here, and we're just gonna finish out Beyond Gaming's last pick here. Thinking about the Gnar. Oh, Jarvan topside making an appearance here at Play-ins. You have any spiciness for me here with the Jarvan top lane? Because it has come back into favor for a jungler, but also for a top laner. Getting some damage and gold into this champion does pay off these days.
They over the last two patches, they gave Jarvan two buffs that just you've seen him back in the meta. I think it's one of those chances that Riot Games just wanted to bring back in the meta, and his numbers are just really, really good, and his damage towards early game is fine, and even a decent top laner when you go grass, which is a nice build. So again, Jarvan was another pick that I was not surprised to see because of the buffs they gave them.
And just in time for that world skin that they've been throwing out. So they Riot are the kingmakers for these champion skins, as it would appear. And that would make a lot of sense, honestly. Awesome. So we have secured our drafts in here for going to this game here. It's going to be Galatasaray, your TCL Turkey representatives, against Beyond Gaming of the PCS second place team here. And both teams are contending to actually show their mettle and show they deserve to actually to fight themselves out of their groups and try to get into the mains worlds event. I will say that I'm go ahead.
Uh, so far in this group, again, I think this is probably the most volatile. I remember, I think day one jitters is a thing. So, I definitely want to see how this pans out because these are two new teams to the scene, which is
Yeah.
always good.
Yeah, we've never seen any of these players actually before. I don't. Doggo is probably the only one on this entire setup in this entire 10-man roster. Has Balulu been to international before? I
Yeah,
recognize that name.
yeah, he was on Supermassive
Okay.
last year, and crazy. He's from actually LPL. He used to play for. Last team he played for was Rogue Warriors. So
Okay, so he's that time in a more challenging region, but again, it doesn't sound like he's actually been to Worlds before, at least into any
yeah,
international events. So yeah, so it should be fun. Hopefully the jitters wear off. It's always nice to see some teams and some players just come out with gusto, just not worried about the stage, not worried about the pressure, just play their game and get some dubs, get some kills. And we have seen though
yeah.
that there's been the pacing in these games has actually been quite measured. There's not it hasn't been near as bloody as we might have hoped or been wishing for out of these play-in teams. Uh, we did
I
see it.
think
Go ahead.
maybe it's the format because I believe it's only 3 days instead of like spread out. So um, maybe they're playing a little bit cautious reserve. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, yeah. It is best of ones here, so it's gonna be a round robin best of one. So that means that anything could really happen, and so if they've got to actually make every match count and get as many wins as they can in this single round robin format, just to try to get themselves. I believe it's top four in their group, and then they go up to best of threes or best of fives. I've actually forgotten it.
BO5s,
Yeah.
top two, and then they go into BO5s.
Yep. So that will be how these are decided and deciding who is going to go in here. Favorites are kind of clear for both groups, but always looking for some upsets here. And I did hear some good info for Galatasaray. Like they look like they actually contend with a lot of LEC teams when it comes to scrim. They're at least scrimming during the regular season. So I actually have a decent amount of hope here, and I like this. This is actually the earlier dives that we were looking for. Teleport's going to come in here to try to save BYG, but he is going to still be jumped on, and that's going to be a level 2, level 3 tower dive, and Balulu's here as well, so Moan's going to have to flash away from this. Tower shot's going to hit here. Crazy's going to die for it as well, but it's going to be a 2-for-1 here. 1 kill onto Moana. Is that Moan? It's almost Moana. That's funny. But those 2 kills go on to Crazy, which is going to swing this top lane matchup here quite a bit here. That's the earliest gank I think we've seen here in this tournament so far.
Yeah, 3 minutes. It was a 3-minute dive. Mojito and Crazy, they pulled that off pretty well. Again, I'll take that. They're up 600 gold, and that's always going to be good. So I'm okay with what they just did there.
Yeah. Well, Cannon's just allowed to get what feels like this is like the second or first cannon wave in. They're like, pull it. Let's go. Teleport comes in from one to try to help save the situation, but there's not too much to do. The lockup's there. The flash comes through, but Crazy just follows him up, gets the secondary stun off, and now Moan's just primed for this. Flashes away. Crazy gets under turret. Bululu actually is able to take at least one shot, but cannot save that. So teleport's suspended across the field. The only teleport left is going to be Crazy. He's actually Crazy got to save his teleport on the walk back because the wave was pushing in his favor under the tower. So that's a huge advantage here. Husha trying to equalize, but the ward's going to spot him out.
I feel like Kennen has become the AP blind pick Gnar.
I appreciate that so much for just Wardle on Wardle comparisons. Like, and it's in a way it's an easier ult to work with. Perhaps you don't have to look for terrain; just apply lightning and go.
Yeah, no rage. You don't need rage. Just well, you need energy, but it's so much easier.
Oh, so much easier, so much more reliable. We might actually be revealing why Gnar could be a questionable pick for the entire year.
Oh yeah.
So this Bard pick, not sure about this Bard pick. Good stun there, but I'm not sure what else Zergsting is looking to get from this pick here.
Zergsting should be roaming at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
Really should be covering the map. Should be trying to set up dives once he hits 6 at least.
Yeah. That magical journey allowing him to jump across the field at very quick rates. Maybe near as quick as Talon, if we got to see earlier in the day. Talon able to flank you as you're running away from him is its own bit of magic. But no Talon here. Bululu just roaming over, getting a bit of vision control there by the Baron pit. But I think this is actually a great issue for... So I was thinking about it when that dive was happening for PK. He doesn't have a lot of control of these waves here topside. Like, he does not have a lot of wave clear management compared to Crazy's Kennen. So it's kind of its own question for me. Is like, should we expect even more dives here coming topside? Because PK has been able to actually keep the CS quite even. But there's a lot of control that Crazy can exert over these waves to really put PK in a dangerous state repeatedly.
Well, I like what BYG is doing. They're trying to at least, stabilize, not like give GS the too much control by grabbing at least the Drake, so don't get the Drake stack at least.
Yeah, definitely trying to trade objectives, get those later game win conditions ready to go. Oh, 3 people mid here. Bululu's gonna have to flash out. That could have been dangerous there. The shockwave being used to actually try to catch him, but good reaction time there out of Bululu. Zergsting trying to contend here for this control war, but it's gonna cost him a good bit. Oh boy, True Shot Barrage. It's gonna be stepped away from by alive here. Good double up proc there to get the crit onto Doggo. So
I think probably trying to crash this wave in because they have another one coming.
Yep, trying to crash the wave in. They've already had their first backs. Noon Quiver on the Misfortune with 2 pots, and Ezreal's gotten his Sheen and his Tier. And some boots early on, so really trying to make sure he's got the mobility to dodge those cosmic bindings. And Husha still just farming up here. I believe we got to see might have been a fair exchange of Scuttle Crabs.
It's been pretty even. BYG's only down, I believe, K gold, so it's not too bad. They're stabilizing. They have a lot of scaling with the Ezreal and the Orianna, so they're not in a bad position.
No, and Mohia's also hit his level 7, so he's well past acquiring his ult. Level 6 on the side of Alive, so there is all the team fighting tools that at least Galatasaray would likely need We just need an objective for them to care to fight over. Rift Herald's alive. Oh, Xerxes looking for a catch here, but not going to be anything. So we're kind of entering that lull state that we've gotten used to here so far at day 1 of play-ins. Teams are just waiting for a big enough objective or a big enough reason to really push the button, push the go button. And Mojito's going to get started with this Rift Herald. This isn't Vision of BYG, but there's not really any other objective for them to counter for. They've already gotten the first Drake, so they can kind of just let this go and just keep the farm getting funneled into their team.
Yeah, I think it's okay to trade Rift Heralds at this point. You just want to slow the bleeding.
Bleed it out, digging deeper, just to throw it away. No. Oh, here's a sign out. Oh, Supreme Display of Talent and going in there, and Slicing Maelstrom's going to secure it, and the kill goes over 3-1 for Crazy. Moan is teleported in late again here, trying to deliver himself as packaged goods for Balulu and Galatasaray, but the trade of damage is going to negate that. Hush has arrived here, but I'm not sure what else they can do here. This Riptail's going to put this turret down, and Mojito has been blown up by Husha. So very good counterplay there from the PCS jungle representative, trying to at least save PK from this monstrous gold lead. Oh my gosh. Crazy's almost double the gold of this Jarvan right now. So this is actually not good. This counter pick here from Crazy is showing up here. And I would have, so we have an understanding of who we expect to win these play-in groups and to make it into the main stage. Like we understand that, but I was with how this game's going so far. I'm a little impressed here from our Turkish representatives to be going this heavy and this have their match going this well against the number 2 PCS representative, because we've seen for a long time out of that region, Flash Wolves back in the day, PSG Talent at MSI. There is something to be said that if BYG was matching, beating, and having a very good series in the finals of PCS, we'd kind of put them somewhere near a major region, ranking in our minds. But Galatasaray are just throwing that out the window right now with this early game lead. A good 2,000 gold lead right now.
Right. That was a nice kill on Balulu with the Jarvan. Bardock almost saved him too, and he had to expend a flash for the kill. So I don't think it's too bad. Yeah, the Turkey is. You saw with Istanbul Wildcats how they should have got a couple wins in the play-ins. So I think Turkey is just leveling up each year. So I don't even consider it a minor region nowadays.
No, not really. They've gotten themselves a lot of good representatives coming out of their region. At least a lot of good players that have come out and really shown themselves to be top tier players. I know Abadage is not actually Turkish, but he came through the Turkish league. Same with Closer over in NA on 100 Thieves. Armut, top laner for Mad Lions, the upgrade. Broken Blade, who was on TSM. And then Schalke Nofio, rest in peace. So Turkey's putting out really good talent, either through their league or just through their populace.
Yeah, I mean, Whippo and Caps came from Turkey, believe it or not, too.
Whippo and who?
Whippo and Caps came from Turkey.
They both came through the TCL. They both actually played on the TCL. Yeah, it's. Yeah. I feel like the. It's not what we would expect, but the TCL is like this secret hyperbolic time chamber for young talent in the West, at least for especially European players. And then
by far.
Yeah, and then the LEC's just the career side, and then NA is unfortunately been a retirement home for some players, but. Gotta get that pension plan going. All right, so posturing here around this second Drake here. It's gonna be a mountain Drake, but I feel oh boy, we're getting that posture, say hi, wave, and they just take the dragon. Galatasaray thinking about a fight here, but now they're just trying to sort of poke and maybe back away. So not a lot happening here. Everyone's here. PK goes over the wall looking for something, but it's going to leave Zerg staying alone. Trisha Barrage misses the wave here. Crazy. Looking for a flank, but Dago's going to push him away. So that was kind of a nothing situation.
It was another lull state we've been having.
Well, it's another one of those stand there and watch someone take the dragon. Like, there was no go button coming out of Galatasaray while the rest of the map is available. We've been seeing it so far. This is actually one of the few times so far in play-ins where we've seen teams just kind of stand there and watch the other team take the dragon when there could be other pressures put elsewhere on the map. So I really hope this the trend we have been seeing sticks around, because I don't like audience plays, if you will. I don't like players being audience members to a dragon take. It doesn't do good for good gameplay, and it doesn't do good for my nerves.
I don't know if it's whether or not I feel like these games feel like a chess match. Like, they're like, okay, I really want to see what you're really gonna do, and then I'll bust out my rook 5 to something move.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I feel like these games have been, because remember, these are so many regions, so many different play styles. So I really don't know if it's just a test of mental patience, I guess.
Mm-hmm. It could definitely be a test of mental patience, or just how deep does your playbook go? Do you have a really good early game strategy, but once you get to mid game, can you actually maintain that momentum and pick the fights, do the dives, do the tower dives that are necessary to really propel yourself even further into the game? All right, so we're gonna have a tower trade after long last. Turret plates are long gone, but while Mojito's grabbing this Rift Herald, Moan is catching, or at least destroying, the first tower for Beyond Gaming here bot side. So kind of actually transitioning into that 1-3-1 split for at least these lull states in the gameplay. I'm not sure what Crazy was up to. I think he was afraid. Yeah, not a lot of vision in his jungle, so not sure of how safe it was for him to come up and contest that wave and try to save that turret. So perhaps a little bit of a gap in Galatasaray's gameplay there, not securing that area. There's going to be a Scryer's Bloom put out there by Zergsting to try to clear out that vision, get them some security so Crazy can keep his farm going.
Seems like they're just waiting around for the next Drake. They're starting to establish. Looks like they're starting to go. Zergsting get some vision probably, and I think that's why PK's down here. But I don't know why you'd have the Orianna top with a minute and change. I think you're wanting to start getting it ready, but I guess I want to try to get whatever standing goals here. So.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing is actually this is now the second turret Moan's actually just rotated for. Beyond Gaming is just rotating their bodies and their vision as necessary to try to get Moan the time alone with these turrets to really take them down. I don't normally think of Orianna as a destructionist kind of champion, but Beyond Gaming are using Orianna in that way. Get her to the turret, get her coverage either through vision or through just pure body count to get some damage onto these turrets and try to either match or just even catch up with Galatasaray's pacing right now. Because as we saw in that graphic just a minute ago, the later this game goes with any amount of a gold lead, the higher chances there are for Galatasaray to actually just get a win, at least based on what they did in their region.
Oh, for sure. Again, I think on a scaling, both sides are fairly even. Cannon's still gonna do a lot of damage. They don't have really a tank. Rise is gonna scale. BYG got Ezreal and the Ori, so it's pretty equal. It's pretty even both sides. I think it's gonna come down to this Drake.
Definitely can come down to this Drake here. Mojito with this flank, but he's sitting on a ward here. BYG, yeah, Kino's gonna let him sit there and think he's safe. This is going to be very interesting right now. I don't think they have any easy way to actually move Mojito. Going into that jungle is a death wish, because the supreme display of talent will basically stun out everyone in that jungle if they step foot in there. So it's Drake looking like Galatasaray is trying to contest it. Crazy's going to put himself into the pit here, but I think the play is going to be too late here. Oh, it's going to go golden here. The supreme display is down. It's going to put him against the wall here. GS Alive puts out the bullet time here. He's going to get jumped on. Flash is out here, but he's going to get blown up here. Alive is down here, but how's the rest of the fight going to go? Hush is going to have to make a run for it. The Cloudjake was grabbed by the Turkish representatives, and that is actually a great execution there off by Galatasaray. They trade out their top laner and their ADC for that, but that is 3 kills in their pocket and the dragon. So matching the dragon, stacking, they're going to get this Herald off as well, and I believe they're going to be able to even stay to get the rest of this turret down here. Balulu and Zergsting with their range. Nope, not going to be able to get all of it, but a good chunk, good pacing for Turkey.
Oh, for sure. And that was a really good trade. And again, I'd rather, I don't care what people say, having extra movement speed, CDR is always good.
Flash, E, and then comes back, secures the Drake. The bullet time just separating and blowing them up. So very good just collapse and execution there by Galatasaray. Mojito just setting his team up to just wipe out the rest of Beyond Gaming. All right, so next lull state, next play out. See if we actually have any rotation plays here out of Beyond Gaming, because they've been doing good so far, at least trying to keep this gold tight. But can they actually get control of a side of the map and really make sure that GS don't have any other avenues in before we get to the next major objective?
You know, I feel that I would like to see that, even though I like the SRL, I'd like to see teams start picking Tristana back up. Because that's another person that you could put into a side lane and start, and like if Doggo was on Tristana, he would have got that top tower, and that's more golden than the Trist, you know.
Yeah.
I don't like that. How what we saw from MSI was Doggo was aggressive, making these risky plays, going in ham. I just don't feel like the Ezreal is his play style.
Oh, Mojito's being spotted here. Hush has made his way up to actually just help keep Moan safe here topside. Kino also not far behind. And Galatasaray try to secure just some control around this Baron pit, just a little. Gets rid of that blast cone. Now Crazy is going to, just move around here. So, oh boy, and he's overstepped here. They spotted it. PK is going to flag a dragon just to get some control here, get him locked in here. Oh, Blue's coming through here, and Crazy's still alive here. The Slicing Maelstrom put PK down to almost nothing. And they're going to go back in here. Balulu getting kind of low here, but Mojito is available. Oh, Moan's going to have to go golden. That dodges the bullet time here, but he's going to shockwave himself. That's a nice hat you got there, my friend. But Zergsting is going to keep this rolling alive. Fighting Hush at point blank range, I don't think is your best play there, my friend. He's going to die for it. But Balulu is across the map over the Tribush fighting Doggo and Kino, and they're going to take him down here. This is not the best trade of kills here. That's 3 for 3 so far. It's an even spread. But they're not done here. Doggo getting that aggressive tendency going there on this ADC. It's nice to see that aggression out of Doggo. I miss seeing this guy from MSI. He was a fan favorite, I swear, by the end of that tournament. They take RNG to game 4. It felt super close there. Maple on the Silas also just looked like a monster. So, all right. So BYG sees this play, sees this opportunity. Moan comes in. No shockwave goes out yet, actually. That should have secured it. It was not off cooldown yet, so maybe a little trigger happy on this play. PK gets caught in the Supreme Display of Talent. Moan has to just make that golden. Misses the shockwave, doesn't even land. The Realm Warp puts Balulu and Mojito over the wall there. They try to blow up Doggo, but he's not really taking a lot of damage here from the Kiana.
Yeah, he's blowing them up.
Yeah, he just finished the Frozen Hearts, so he had the glacial shroud there on him, which really actually hampered the ability for Mojito to even just his auto attacks to even just try to help finish that off. So yeah, we've entered that state where Ezreal is kind of tanky and kind of not scared of some of these AD threats coming out from the side of Galatasaray. It's kind of on Crazy and Balulu to try to catch this Ezreal and really nail him down here. And Mojito with these flanks, like the man just lives in Beyond Gaming's jungle.
It's like his excavator.
Right? Just finding some underground tunnels. Like, there's no Rek'Sai in this game. There's just Kiana just finding these crazy routes around, just jumping over walls and making their way. And they're just waiting for it. This is actually a setup for the Drake. And Beyond Gaming, I think they know. I think they know that something's amiss because they have
the Scryers.
Yeah.
Oracle that's by the blue, I think.
Yeah. Doggo, someone used their Scryers. Yeah. It was on the side of the misfortune. All right, so Drake's going to get started up here by Husha. Red Ward's behind them, but I don't think it's going to have enough time. There Flash is available for Mojito, and he's just going to separate it. The Dragon's going to be taken here. Moan's caught with the Golden Realm Orb's going to come through to put Balulu in the space for it. PK is going to have to try to flash away here. Kino trying to play the stopper. And BYG is going to get their third Drake, so they are on Soul Point. And that could actually flip this game here. Galatasaray has not been able to really extend their goal lead. They're still sitting at a 2K gold lead, but that is not enough to really stuff this game and really put BYG in the ground there. There are still opportunities here for BYG to, they can play these team fights safe and Doggo not get caught here. But he's tanking up a lot of damage here. That Frozen Heart doing work here, but Crazy's going to catch him here with the Slicing Maelstrom, and now Kino's going to have to make a run for it. Oh, but he's going to get chased down here. Another fight here still by the chickens. They still are trying to catch this Crazy. You're a sitting duck here, man. If there's no storm here, there's no fear. And PK is going to put two of them into the Cataclysm, but he locks himself in with Alive, and he's going to get shredded. Mojito on the other side of the map catching Kino. And that's a 1-for-3 trade here. Hush is still alive as the jungler, but this may very well be Baron for Galatasaray. I speak in criticism, and Galatasaray says, no. Doggo's just going to give us a chance here, and we're going to blow this game wide open here.
Yeah, I think you forgot what team he was on while he was in the jungle. Not respecting the jungle, doesn't matter, even if you got a dash, you need to respect the jungles. Now they got the gold swing.
Yeah, definitely.
Now you have a Rise and Kiana, and with Baron buff, that's just not good.
I love this though, because Mojito is such a playmaker for Galatasaray here. He just sits in this bush, calls for the play here, throws Doggo against the wall, and that buys just enough time for Crazy to get in there and finish him off. But Mojito is just living. He's just set up a tent and camp. His postal address is in Beyond Gaming's jungle, and he just keeps finding these flanks and these opportunities to just pin people down and just provide opportunities for his team to come in and just wipe out the rest of Beyond Gaming. It's been the really big game changer, and I feel like he's been it's the most flanky game we've seen so far. A lot of teams get some good flankers like a Rakan or even just or we've seen Kiana earlier. But the ability for Mojito just to get into these vision pockets that just are not covered by Beyond Gaming and then just put them in the ground has been just the big difference here in this game.
And he's catching them and getting in the terrain that's increasing the stun, and he's hitting at least 2-3 people, so he's maximizing the damage. He's getting out big ults, and he's catching them all at right times when the objectives are up too.
Yep. A little bit of a fight here over chickens. Not gonna catch anyone unless I'm gonna be secured. Zergstein might need to go back or get himself some shrines to heal up there after that exchange. But BYG kind of in a pickle here right now. 4,000 gold lead here for Galatasaray. Teleports are up and available for PK and Crazy. So Crazy might want to keep Zergsting in his back pocket here. Trying to get this wave pushed in here. And we might actually have enough commitment over. Kino has come as well to try to help PK fortify this tower, but I don't think Galatasaray is going to be too shy about that. Trying to get some damage onto the tower. Make It Rain comes out, just poking and slowing. And now Mojito with the blue buff.
So this Baron dance is going to be really important.
This tower dance over here. Balulu getting some free time underneath the tower over in mid lane. So trying to get some gold advantage here. Trying to get some use out of this Baron buff.
I think the wave clear is not too bad with the Orianna and then
yeah, and the waves aren't near as synced. So Baron buff's gonna run out, getting a 2.2k advantage off of that. So trying to get themselves ahead. Got a good 5k good gold lead. And Cloudrick's gonna be up here right now. Balulu with teleport available. But this is going to be the time to actually get in and get some vision control here. Zergsting already trying to get in, get some vision down around this river. There you go. Cup of Joe. Moving him along here with the Chucky. And Moan's going to back here, but this Cloud Drake's alive here. They're just going to take it here. I think Beyond Game are just going to give this over and just buy themselves some more time. Yeah.
They're just too strong. You know, Rice just completed Seraphs. You know, he can. You got the 3-item MF. I would take a cup of Joe and not do anything myself right now.
Yeah, just sit back, have your tea here. Wait, let the game go a little bit further. Maybe get a good catch at another team fight here. 2 minutes till the Baron, and that could be actually the really next major objective that we're expecting here, though. Kind of want to touch in here. So, item spread. What's the great difference here? Because where does that 5k gold lead really show up?
I really think it shows up on the Rise, because he's just gonna do so much, and he can make so many plays as well. And then Crazy, if he gets there's a lot of squishy targets on there. He can take them down about half, maybe more. And I don't know if they even run an MR. Not many are. Yeah, very little. So
yeah. Well, looking at the gold differential that was just on the screen there, we could actually see to where there's like a 4k gold lead over his counterpart with this Kennen. So Crazy is actually the majority of his team's gold lead. Otherwise, Rise, super powerful, can lock you down forever, especially with that Everfrost, and move his team around the map in ways that no other champ in the game can. But Crazy's kind of the main linchpin for just putting GS over the line and being able to just really sway the team fights in their favor. Just in the nature of the ultimate, but also in the nature of just where he's at. 3.5 items on this Kennen. Needlessly large rod. I think he's heading for that death cap to just blow up anyone over on BYG. But this Jarvan? He just has a Gourd Drinker and a Phage right now. Stopwatch for like the next major team fight and buy some time, but
he's got some junkyard items right at the moment. I feel like Jarvan, I feel like the teams that have picked Jarvan are just not utilizing him well. I don't understand.
Would you be so well? Okay, so we saw that earlier today, where like a jungle Jarvan did not really get out and about and get into some good ganking patterns or good ganking paths. What is an expectation for? Oh boy, Crazy, getting a little chunked out there. That's the power of Ezreal. Yep, that's the scary power of Ezreal here. 4 items. He's got the was it the Seraph Spear available? So
yeah, he's got Manamune, and he has got the Grudge, Cerelius Grudge, which is a very good item.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is getting a little bit crazy here. Beyond Game have found themselves available. A lot's gonna be put into the ult here, but 4 golden at the same time here. I'm not sure if that was actually what they wanted to do, but they're still gonna blow them up in no time here. The Kennen, Crazy, just getting so much work in. Galatasaray wipe the team fight there, and I think they're actually going to make the run for it. They've got just a tier 2 in their way and the inhibs. I think this is going to be the game here. So Galatasaray, 34 minutes in, are going to wipe Beyond Gaming from the map here and get their first win of play-in stage, setting themselves up for a very good run here at Worlds 2021. And who knows? We could be seeing more of this. A lot of good discipline play out of there. Fantastic flanks out of Mojito. And that'll be the game.
That's the game right there. I kind of like what I saw from Beyond Gaming. So I'm not. Again, I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. But Turkey stepping up again. Last year was super massive. Now we got Galatasaray. So let's see what goes on.
Yeah, definitely. That's where I was trying to look around for if there was any before we even got into Worlds, like this past weekend. I was trying to find any other sort of specialists for the TCL, and I couldn't find any, unfortunately, in my last minute research. But Galatasaray just look and feel like they actually could be contending for more than what we would expect out of a minor region. And for just what they showed here against Beyond Gaming, the PCS representative, the kryptonite of major regions, as we saw back at MSI, this could be really good. They could have a really good showing here at Worlds.
Yeah, this is from last year's MSI, and DFM was I think I would say they're the new Flash Rules. Like they've been getting a fan base since that MSI. So
Definitely.
I think this is going to be a really banger of a game.
Yep. Alrighty. So that'll be that game for us. See you for the next one in a few minutes.